2020 Dow Jones weekly chart right here before you right now. What do I have? I have a trend line right here where we had started with the gap down. When we go back over here to this very date on 3/2, we started with that gap down, weekly gap down. That's what these weekly ones are. These are weekly ones. And basically, we've been building off of that, and we've come off of this bottom. Now, let me explain to you about bear market bottoms and rallies. You can get these 20% rallies, and you get them. And once again, I've been involved in lots of bear markets going back over 30 years ago, 35 years ago. But when we did have those bear markets during that particular time frame, and other ones, and those that all had very one thing in common that was always 100% accurate. Every time you had a 20% rally, and you would get two of them in a year, but everyone would fail 100% of the time in every single different bear market circumstances. And I was there to see them happen. Okay. So the thing about it is that when you chase these kinds of markets right now, like on a day like today, that's suicide, especially for people that don't know what they're doing in this kind of market. Even the professionals don't know what they're doing. We know what we're doing. We're market makers, but nonetheless, they do fail. And what I will tell you beyond a reasonable doubt, that this rally too, that you see off of the bear market bottom lows from that big swan down there at the very bottom, on this very week right here, you've had this is the beginning of a third week. Now, this particular line that you see right here at this price level, right there, 23.96 or so, that's going to be what we call a 200-week moving average, and we're going to come piling right into it. And when we hit that, that's going to be what we call a wall of resistance. That's where the breakdown below the 200-week moving average occurred right here and whatnot. Like I said, this date, this weekly date right here, this one, that's where it broke it. And we went down and we made the lows, and we're coming slightly right below it. But why am I saying that in the forward-looking volatility throughout the rest of this month, the month of April, even though that the virus may get better? Praise God for all of our viewers and traders and families and all of you. Is that we will go back down to those lows, and we will. And we're going into an earnings season, so for the innocent bystander that may be watching the video and whatnot, is that you don't buy on these updates like today on this kind of type of rally. It's not the right kind. So once again, we're going to come up, we're going to hit the wall of resistance, we're going to look at rolling over. And when we do, we're going to take a look at where the positions that are in the current bear trend environment at higher resistance levels in the upper trend channel, or let's use the right word, that is a real retail world, let's say price channel. So when we hit that price channel and it stops like a rock at resistance, then that's when we look to move in, and we will. So look, the real smart money will be selling into these rallies. And so we're going to be in these ranges. You have the Federal Reserve buying the ETFs, which also, once again, when you get the Federal Reserve involved in buying stuff in the stock market, you get Janet Yellen coming out this morning talking about, oh, well, maybe the Federal Reserve could buy stocks. Oh, you know what? Listen, enough is enough. The stock market's a stock market. It's a market of free will and free enterprise and free traders. It's been manipulated. That's why we built the systems. But nonetheless, back to the Dow. In this bear trend, we've had that low. So here's the first week. Second week, we held that half week. which was good for last week. It didn't break below the half week and go back down, but we've come back up now, and that rally is going to stall out up here. And then as we continue to move through April, and with the earnings season coming and whatnot, the virus is going to be one issue, and that is going to be one, but there won't be a forgiveness about the earnings and whatnot. And, when the human people that support this economy go back out, their spending habits aren't going to be the same. And they're not. And don't be fooled about up days like today. And these are what we call extreme bear market upside volatility days. And these aren't the days you buy into it on the way up like that now. And you better listen to me. And don't chase it. So, it's a weekly chart. Let's keep that perspective. It's a bear market. Let's keep that perspective. It's a virus, flu type environment we're living in. And the economy is going to be shut down as it is, as we know it. So what? This is the Dow. And it's coming up to that resistance channel. And every one of these bear market rallies, once they hit the upper end, they fell. And they do. So we're going to hit our first test at the 200-week moving average of the breakdown. The test, or slightly below it. Right now, the futures market will probably have a slight gap down after today's big move up and whatnot. But this is the area that we're going to be looking at, and or slightly even above it. Okay? But nonetheless, it is a nice looking weekly chart because it's an ascending value up here. So, you take these lows like that, and then you get right in here, and then you got that 200 week. Okay? And when it hits it, it's going to be resistance on the first pass, and it's going to fail. And the volatility is not going to be as high as it was. It is at a lower rate right now. So that's another thing is that when people are looking at the market, they're going to think, wow, at least it's not as bad as it was. Well, that capitulation bottom is out of the way for now. But coming back down and testing the lows, yes, we are going to do that over a certain period of time in our 28-day trend. In our 28-day mathematical cycle, that's exactly what will happen as it goes right now. Unless you can consolidate above the 200-week, you got resistance levels on the way up. You have a whole lot of circumstances involved. You're still down in the oversold territory nonetheless. But wall of resistance, we're going to come back. We're going to reverse. You don't buy on big up days. This is the Dow Jones Update Index to all of our viewers around the world and traders and everyone alike who contacts us. Get with the Managed Account program today. You know why? Because we will do the work. Oh yeah, we're qualified. So, nonetheless, God bless all of you. Be safe. Wear a mask. And wash your hands. And love your family. And make money in the markets. We're here for you. We are market makers in the option pit. Once again, we're going to conclude the Dow Jones, the bear market rallies, what they are, why they fell. Why is that failure accuracy at 100% rate? Oh yeah, you heard me.